Hey guys, welcome back to the shop, and I wanted to pick up where I left off with the old Nova project. This thing is rough and it's ugly and it doesn't run very good, but I want to change all of that just in a few evenings time. I want to try to get this thing where it's dependable and kind of looks good too. I don't think this thing's going to win any shows, but I want it to get attention, and maybe eventually that'll get the attention of a potential buyer. So in this episode I'm going to show you kind of the steps I went through to spruce this thing up, get it back on the road for real this time, not just a little trip around the block. This thing's got a lot of room for improvement, so I could spend the rest of my life trying to make this thing nice. That's not the point. The point is to make it look cool, have the right stance, and have the right feeling when you're going down the road. So the ultimate motivation for a project is a deadline. And I had called my go-to muffler guy, Jimmy Riggs, at Jimmy's Pro Muffler, and I had to set up an appointment because he was booked way out. But that gave me a few days to work on the car and get it to where it was roadworthy enough to drive it. I had wheel cylinder issues on basically all four corners, and I had to switch those out. I had to bleed the brakes, and it took forever to get them to bleed. It was just a kind of an aggravating process. A good thing out of all that was that I have a new brake bleeding partner, and that's my little daughter, Carly. She's finally big enough to where she can reach the brake pedal, and she did a super good job helping me with that, because otherwise my wife's got a brand new baby she's taking care of, and I can't bleed the brakes on my own. So she helped me out big time. We finally started getting some fluid to those rear wheel cylinders. I put new ones on there, by the way, and finally got fluid to them, got them cleared out a little bit, moved to the front, got fluid out of there where I could safely drive this thing a little more. Carly and I jumped in this thing, and I tested the brakes a little bit in the driveway, just kind of back and forth, back and forth. I was also seeing exactly how it felt as far as transmission fluid level. I didn't really know. I hadn't got the transmission hot enough to be able to check the fluid. So I was just getting an idea, now that the brakes were not dragging, getting an idea of if I needed to add fluid or not. I did, so I went ahead and put about a quart in there, and we went on our first real drive. So I live way out in the country, and I've got a really good little test loop for my old cars. It's kind of just an old skinny back road, no houses around or anything like that. It makes it really nice to where if I want to try to do a burnout, or I want to try to launch something really hard, or if I need to stop and work on something, I can. It's not going to hurt anything. So we went on my little test loop, and having some weird smells, some weird sounds, and this thing kept popping really loud, because on a completely stock motor with really short exhaust, it just, some of that raw fuel belches out of there and backfires, and that was kind of getting Carly's attention, and in mine too. But it wasn't, the car was actually running pretty decent. So after a few trips on my little test loop, I still don't have exhaust hooked up, but I am ready to drive this thing to the muffler shop the next day. So fire this thing up early in the morning. Neighbors probably hate it, but do what you got to do. No issues whatsoever. I mean, this thing's got a little bit of like a dead spot. When you're trying to take off from a stop sign, it'll kind of flutter and carry on, but totally normal for a car that sat for a long time. But hit the road pretty good. No real issues. It kind of drove a little bit funny, and I didn't know if that was the tires or if it was an alignment issue or what, but made it to the muffler shop, no problem. So the original idea was for Jimmy to just connect those headers to the existing single exhaust system. This car has got just a single muffler in the back, a single tailpipe. That's all I wanted. I didn't want anything fancy. So as far as tuning goes, I kept playing with the timing a little bit, and the more I would advance the timing, the better it would run. It would kind of clean up that dead spot. But what I found was that once I got the timing where it acted right out on the road, then it would grunt really hard and have hard starting issues once it got hot. So I kind of backed it off and found a happy medium that it was decent out on the road and decent as far as cranking goes. The transmission, I kept adding fluid, and it's finally up to where it needs to be. Shifts out great. I have no complaints on the transmission. The rear end, I'm pretty sure these cars came with a 273 rear end ratio, so it is a total dog as far as like trying to go fast, but it hits the highway really good. And then of course we had to do our first burnout. I actually didn't think it would do it because it's just a dog. It's a Smog era 350 with a 2-barrel. What more can you expect? So I stopped on our little back road, and this thing lit that one tire up. It actually did a pretty good burnout. It probably helps that it has 25-year-old tires on it, but that's beside the point. It did a burnout. It made it back home in one piece. We're going to see if it will do it. I get the slick spot here.
You're not doing it.
I'm going to try.
Okay, head back. Got it.
It's not fast. So mechanically, I was starting to feel pretty good about this thing. It was getting better every time I drove it. I would find a little something to work on, and I would fix it, and it would get better. What really didn't get better was the appearance of this car. It didn't make me happy. Those GTA wheels, even though they're cool, they just don't look right on this car, in my opinion. And the stance of this thing, the front end was kind of up, and the back end was kind of squatting, and I don't know. It's just not my style. So that was next on my agenda, was to get the stance right and get the wheels and tires dialed in just right. So I tore into the front suspension on this thing, broke the ball joints loose. I realized that it had brand new ball joints in it. Somebody has been under this thing and fixing on it, and that may be part of the reason why it drives and rides so good. But anyways, I tore the front end apart. My goal here was to yank those front springs out of there and cut a little bit off of there so that it lowers the suspension. I know that's kind of the redneck way to do it, but that's just what I do. It's cheap, as in free, and all it takes is just a few hours in the driveway or in the garage to make it happen. A round and a half usually gets you about 3 inches or so of drop. I didn't actually measure, but that's kind of the normal drop on a round and a half. I figured that would be enough. When I lowered the front end, I put some black steel wheels on the front. They're 14x5s. They actually came off of Carly Chevelle originally. They got 205/75 R14 tires on there. I ended up using 15x6s on the back. They're brand new wheels from Coker Tire. 15x6 OE wheels with 235/75 R15 tires. I've used this combo on several vehicles. It gives you kind of that big, tall, meaty look, but it's narrow enough to fit under most cars. So I got the black steel wheels on there. I only had 2 of the old dog dish caps that we like so much. That gave me a visualization of what this car is going to look like. And after I got those big old tires on the back, I realized that it kind of jacked the back end up too much. So I ordered some 2-inch lowering blocks. I also removed a leaf spring, just one out of the leaf spring pack, and it brought the rear end way down. It took those tires way up in there, and that's what I like. I love seeing that big old tire stuffed up in the quarter panel. So when I got that done, I realized that the front needed to go down a little more. I took the front end back apart again, and I cut another half a round out of the coils, and that brought me down about another inch, and that was perfect. That's exactly where this thing needed to sit. So other things I did to help the appearance of the car was I had to get that huge dent out of the passenger side front fender. And to do that, I took the inner fender out, and I took a hammer, and I took, pry bars and channel locks, and I kind of mashed everything out as far as I could. Another change was the front grille. It had a huge section missing out of the middle, and it just looked terrible. So I found a grill online. One of my Facebook friends had it, Mike Everett. He posted kind of a car guy yard sale. He was cleaning out his shed, and he actually had 2 73 Nova grills. I went down there, bought that for $25. I mean, what a deal compared to a new one is $150, and I'm not spending that. So that really freshened up the front of the car. Then on the inside, I freshened it up a little bit. I actually spray painted the carpet with green spray paint from the dollar store. And I would make a swipe or two and then take a rag and kind of mash that stuff into the fabric so that it didn't just stand up on the fabric and get crusty. And I did that to the whole carpet. Put me some dollar store $9 floor mats in there, and it really made this thing look a lot better. And aside from that, I cleaned everything. I cleaned the seats good, I cleaned the dash, I cleaned the door jambs, the door panels. Then I installed a new armrest pad on the driver's side, which Mike Everett also had. And that really got this thing to looking a lot better. It totally changed its looks. And I realized I probably could have done more to buff out that old paint, or I could have, mudded up the fender or fixed the quarter panel where it had all those issues in the spray can primer. It wouldn't have raised the value to offset the amount of time or effort I would have had to put into it. So fast forward a day or two, and I'm driving this thing every day. I've tagged it, insured it, and I'm just driving it wherever I go. If I go to town, I drive this car. If I got to go to the store, I drive this car. And putting more miles on it, I kept finding little issues to fix, and it was eventually working its way into a really good car. So as I was picking away on this thing, I actually sold a set of wheels, which I took off of another project that I'll show you soon. But a guy came by to look at those wheels and buy them. His buddy was with him, showed interest in the Nova. I hadn't listed it for sale or anything like that. I had only posted a few pictures on Facebook of its new personality, the new stance. He showed interest in the car, which surprised me because he trades around on some pretty high-end stuff. But he showed interest in it, and I showed him around it a little bit and cranked it up for him. And of course, it didn't crank up as good as I had been doing, and that's just my luck. But he looked at it, left. We didn't really talk too much about price. I'd kind of give him an idea of what I needed to get out of it if I were to sell it. But I did explain to him that I had a lot more planned to do to this car, that I wasn't quite ready to put it on the market. So, and the truth of that is that I was enjoying driving it. I didn't really want to sell it yet. But anyways, he came back to me later that day, and he made me an offer. And I came back, and then we went back and forth a few times, and we settled on a price, and it went to a new home. This car didn't stick around for very long, just a couple of weeks here. I'm happy with the end result. I mean, the car served me well as a project here. It gave me something to do over the evenings and weekends. We made a few dollars on it, and then that gives me a little more motivation to get this other project going so that I'll have something to drive. I sold all of my cars. All of my daily drivers are gone now, so I need to get this new project going. And so you need to look forward to a new series of videos on this new project. I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit the notification bell. That way you get notified every time I post a new video. And please check out my merchandise. I've got a link in the description. I'm going to put a link in a card above. Check this stuff out. Support the channel. Support me. And the more stuff that I sell, the more I'll be able to spend on these project cars. And I mean, that's a car guy's dream. So support the channel and continue watching. Just stay tuned for more updates, more episodes of Hot Rod Hoarders, and more cool stuff every single Friday. Thank you for watching.